Okay, welcome back. And here's the second in our series of 2 videos looking at chains of reasoning on the issue of policies to reduce unemployment. This time the question is explain 2 supply-side policies that might be used to cut the rate of unemployment. The video beforehand looked at demand-side policies, but in both videos we're trying to explain and showcase how you can use a chain of reasoning to score good analysis marks. So build your analysis, start off with a clear definition. Supply-side policies, of course there are many, aim to lower the rate of structural unemployment, key term, and they tend to focus on microeconomic aspects of a country's labour market. One example, again, nice clear sentence structure here, one example of a supply-side policy, go back to the question, is to increase funding of programs aiming to improve the human capital of people who don't have a job. Then bring in an applied example. The UK government recently introduced the apprenticeship levy on UK employers to help fund new apprenticeships. The main aim is to increase the resources that are going into vocational education and equip people of different ages, especially the young, with the new skills required in a changing economy. Build the chain of reasoning. If people acquire skills, good examples might be software coding, becoming proficient in computer-aided design, perhaps learning one or more new languages, then they become more attractive to employers. This should help to address the skills mismatch that is a feature of structural unemployment and reduce the scale and the depth of occupational immobility. And do you see here what we're trying to do? The technique is to build a chain of reasoning into your answer. That's going to get better analysis marks. A good example there as well, and using terms such as skills mismatch and human capital and structural unemployment. Here's the paragraph put together to give you a feel for the sort of length and depth of a chunky analysis paragraph. And here's a chart from a survey of the school leavers in 2016, and these were the basically a survey of employers about some of the lack of attributes among 16-year-old school leavers. Okay, well, poor attitude, lack of motivation, in particular, lack of required skills or competences, all kinds of issues to do with making young people more employable as they enter the labour force for the first time. Let's move now to our second supply-side policy. And again, flag this up in the exam. Make it really clear, exceptionally clear at the start of the paragraph. A second supply-side policy might be measured, aimed at improving the geographical mobility of labour, the ability of people to move from part of the country to another, from area to area, from locality to locality in search of work. Oftentimes the cost of moving to find work are prohibitive. Therefore, connected phrase, a strategy that might help this is to make rented accommodation more readily available and affordable. The government might decide, by the way, I'm using the word might here a lot because the might suggests there's alternatives. The government might decide to increase investment into new social housing by allowing local authorities to borrow money to build more homes. If they did that, this would increase the supply of affordable housing, social housing, and also put downward pressure on the monthly rents charged in the private sector. Low affordability of housing is a barrier to finding work, and building more homes would also increase the demand for labour in the construction industry. So here's a way of explaining how a supply-side policy might work. And again, there are links in the chain which, when you put them together, creates a chunky paragraph of analysis. You might well put a diagram in to help you. But crucially, everybody, we're using A-level terms: geographical mobility of labour, affordable housing, demand for labour. Use the terms, the concepts that you've been taught in your classroom. Housing affordability is undoubtedly a major policy issue. This again is a survey from YouGov in spring of 2018, and a serious problem is getting onto the property ladder for the first time buyers. For 60% of people, that is a major problem. Saving enough for a deposit to buy a mortgage, to get a mortgage, and of course a lot of people also saying it's It's a real problem actually now, even affording to rent, particularly in certain cities. So making housing affordability a policy priority would be an important supply side policy that might be used to reduce unemployment. So there we go. There's 2 videos, again with examples of chains of reasoning to get your analysis marks up across, in this case, a macroeconomic question. Thanks a lot.